Let's go. Well, this would go back to our conversation I think we had last week of, women not getting more opportunity. Now you can honestly say that, you can name not only Susan B. Anthony, but also whoever played Ash Ketchum and whoever played, Tommy Pickles. It's like they're doing pretty damn good right now.
Especially the girl who decided to do Ash, like supplement kind of gig. Pokemon, because that's what Pokemon Go basically did. It's like, oh, let's take the first ever Pokemon that we released, 15, 16 years ago? I don't know. I'm dating myself. But then, let's just put it as math now. Sure enough, I paid for balls once, the free app, but I was out of Pokemon. I was in the middle of nowhere, and I had a Charizard on my screen. I am paying for those Pokemon. You got me, Pokemon. You got me.
If I want a Charizard, I'll just go to my Game Boy Color, and I'll get Pokemon Red or Blue, and just get my Charizard from there. That's just me, but
not the same thing. Not the same.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But at the same time, I just don't want to spend $50 on Pokeballs, like you said. It's like I'm not going to spend money for a game that I could just play for free. So, all right. So now on to my number one pick, which we've done a lot of Cartoon Network. We've done quite a bit of Nickelodeon. Now I got to go into Disney Channel because this show has so much possibilities, and they really just made you look at it like, oh my gosh, they actually did this. That being the Disney's House of Mouse. Basically, just imagine having every single Disney character ever created all under one roof just to watch Mickey Mouse cartoons, Donald Duck cartoons, Goofy, Daisy, Minnie, Pluto cartoons, and all the craziness, the wackiness that you would expect. Like you would see, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, and you see Emperor Cusco, and then you would see, members of the Jungle Book. They'd meet up with people from The Lion King. Everything in between, it was just flat out amazing. There are a lot of times where they even created some great stories, like the main villain, of course, was always, Mr. Pegleg Pete, or, Mr. Pete, as a lot of people know him. He was trying to shut down the house, which is really weird, because he kind of owns the place, and he wants to shut it down. Is it, for insurance reasons or something? I do not, to this day, I still don't understand that logic, but it's kind of like, all right. He tried gassing them by using... Well, you kind of guessed it, by using Pumbaa. So basically it has Pumbaa in the ventilation system. He's feeding him bugs after bugs after bugs. And I'm just like, oh, this is going to end well. And it almost did, because Pumbaa was just about ready to let one loose. But then Donald throws him outside saying, nope, we're not going to let this happen. And next thing you know, you're just this massive earthquake, and Pumbaa just comes back in, and he's just like, you might not want to go out there. And Donald, of course, just looked like he went through a freaking big fanned hallway, where his face is just flat and just all backwards, and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm guessing his nose is going to be broken for a while. and it all ends basically with... And Mickey asking Pete to leave, and he's like, wait, you mean go outside? Oh, my poor nose! Pete gets thrown out, and he's just trying to cover his mouth and nose, just running away from this, obviously, probably nuclear gaseous explosion by Pumbaa. It's just so many crazy scenarios, so many crazy things, and it's one of those things that make me, again, look back and think, I had a good grown-up as Disney kid, because you see... Again, all these familiar characters, all these familiar faces, and some of the stuff that you would think, oh, well, this is quite interesting. I forgot to mention Timon. Timon was always going after Jiminy Cricket, and it's like, dude, come on. He's a conscience. He can't be getting eaten up all the time. So, I just loved every single bit. And there's not a single episode or movie that they did that I thought, this kind of sucks. Where I was more... enthralled and entertained. The best movie I think they did was the House of Villains ones, where the villains just take over, and it's Halloween night, and we get to see like classic Mickey Mouse wearing the robe and the hat and the sorcerer's hat, just going up against Jafar. I honestly looked at this and I'm thinking, oh, this is cool. This is a showdown for the ages. And, well, it ends with basically Aladdin kind of saving the day, but go figure. It's Jafar and it's Aladdin, so go figure. But all in all, like I said, it was a great movie. No complaints about it whatsoever, so that's why I have the House of Mouse as always my number one show growing up as a kid. I don't know. Did you ever watch that as a kid growing up?
I watched it a little bit. I just remember as a kid, like I said, like I was in Nickelodeon, and I did like on Saturday mornings the Fox Kids when Fox decided to play kids. But I didn't get. I know for the longest time, I remember I didn't get Cartoon Network as a channel, and I think Disney was the same way. Like it was like one of those higher up channels for us that like we didn't get at first, like because my parents didn't care about the kids shows. So like, you could just watch your TV elsewhere. But we always had Nickelodeon because that was always like the free station that we could get, and that's why I think I grew up watching all the Nickelodeon shows. But I remember the House of Villains movie, and I remember liking all that stuff, but just wanting more of, like, I would see a character like 101 Dalmatian, like the villain, like Cruella de Vil, and be like, oh, I want her a whole movie now. I want to watch that movie. And I would, like, get sidetracked because that was the type of kid I was. So I was like, oh, no, turn it off. Now I want to watch this movie. Oh, wait, no, Lion King came out. I want to watch Lion King now. It was more like I wanted, like, the original story, and, like, they didn't give me enough of the characters. But I enjoyed seeing all the characters and seeing them interact and be the Disney World, you know, type of thing. So it was definitely a good show. I just didn't get the channel very often.
and I mean, hey, they had it even showed the original Maleficent, not the one that they had Angelina Jolie in. Which I'm not going to get into that because I know that you're going to have you're probably going to thrash me with anything that I say bad about that movie because I'm not going to go into that. So, but yeah, all in all, it was, like I said, it was a great series, great set of movies. Nickelodeon, I do remember having quite a few shows that just were awesome. A lot of them we didn't get a chance to mention. Like I said, I remember even when Nickelodeon did like all these random game shows. I think I remember, or even just. Did you remember back when they had the green slime? Almost, somebody was just eventually going to get slimed by somebody. That was just awesome.
And the Kids' Choice Awards, that was Nickelodeon thing. I don't know much about Nickelodeon nowadays. Sadly, I don't watch that station anymore. I hardly watch TV, period. I have Netflix. But, yeah, I don't know what Nickelodeon's doing. I think they still do the Kids' Choice Awards, and they probably have. I know they still got SpongeBob, but I don't know what the popular shows of this day and age.
Yeah. So, I know that I think after the first SpongeBob movie, they kind of went a little bit downhill since then. I watched the Sponge Out of Water movie, and I was just kind of like, not exactly what I was expecting. Just too...
So very quick.
Yeah. It was just kind of like... It was like, I could have took it or left it. It was one of those things where it just didn't work. I mean, great to see Antonio Banderas, but I think he needs to stick with his Puss in Boots, moniker instead, because I think that's one of his best ones. That and Zorro. So, but if I remember Antonio Banderas by two things, it's Zorro and Puss in Boots. Those are the only two things. Anything else? Okay, maybe that's about it. Yeah, that's about it.
Puss in Boots is Zorro as a cat.
Yes. All right. Well.
Even like the pee in the tree room, we're like, movie. They basically just chose him because he's on.
Well, it worked out perfectly for him. Or, oh geez, I remember when he was when they did it. What was it? Shrek. I think final chapter, and he was just this giant ball of fluff, and he just goes, "Feed me if you dare." Oh man, just.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Again, Shrek went off the hinges.
Really, you never see that one, man?
I think so.
Yeah, that
I
was.
remember Shrek 3. Shrek 3.
Yeah, Shrek went up to 3, and then they added one more because I remember watching it when I. When was that? I think it was I think it was while I was still in rehab during my car accident. I think I remember watching that movie and just looking at it like, okay, this is one of those things where it's like, it's funny, it's entertaining. I guess I could see where they wanted to do like a final chapter for, I guess, Shrek. It was kind of one of those like extra one-off movies, but you know, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, it needed to happen. It was like, no, after Shrek the Third, that was fine. There's just one of those things where it's like, okay, kind of gives us a little bit of like what happens now. What's the final chapter like? So it wasn't all that bad. All right, so with that concludes our, I guess you could say, 10 childhood memories as far as TV shows go. But I understand that you actually have some announcements that you wanted to kind of mention to the audience here.
Oh, yeah. Well, you always know at the end, like, hey, what are you doing this month? And this is the first month of 2017. And there's not many cons that I'm going to be participating in, but there are events that I'm going to be participating in. I might have said this the last time just about the Magic pre-releases on January 14th and 15th at Top Cut Comics in Rockford. Mm-hmm. And then there's also, at the end of January, a Magic charity event that I'll be participating in. The date, I think, is going to be the 28th or the 29th, but we're not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. They probably know when it is. But they haven't announced exactly if I'm going to be doing that one, but it's a charity event, so most likely I'm going to be there. And then I just have a few announcements. Of course, Deadger's Dark Coffin Classics is coming back with new episodes. Next week is going to be our first new episode, and just a little, like, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say this. I know that this is a season where, Deadger's going to be looking for, the one. He's going to be looking for a wife, and so the Dead Girls are going to try to help him out this season in finding the one for Deadger. So it'll be very entertaining. So you guys have to definitely check that out. The Deadersons are coming off of holiday as well. The holiday season just kind of is a buzzkill for us in the entertainment world, because then everything stops and you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? But more announcements is Versus Nerd Stuff, which is a big page out of St. Louis, is going to be featuring new cosplayers, and I will be the third feature, I'm pretty sure, for VicTori Belle on what I'm doing. It'll be like, like a 15-minute long video just about how I'm doing, what I'm doing, and what I'm doing for 2017 type of thing. So it's kind of a fun series you guys can start following, is Versus Nerd Stuff. It's Facebook. They post all their videos there, and it's a new cosplay segment. So it's something fun to check out. And again, the end of January, Cosplay Radio is going to be hosting a big event that hopefully I'll be able to get to. We'll see if this charity event kind of overlaps or whatnot, but Cosplay Radio is in the St. Louis area as well, so a big event for them, and I'll be telling you guys more next week.
Awesome.
Boom, I'm done.
Yeah. And also, we haven't got an official date yet, but starting this year, you have that new series coming out, City of Angels, so that's going to be
Yes, don't have a date like you were talking about, so I was like, I don't want to, say a release date and be wrong, but we are done with part 1 of episode 1, so it's going to come out in parts, and hopefully it'll come out soon.
Fair enough. Well, of course, as always, it's always fun having VicTori Belle on the show because she is, of course, awesome. So thank you again for always coming on the show and starting off, 2017 with a positive note instead of ending with a negative note. So definitely always appreciate that. It's always fun having you on.
Well, fun to be here. I love talking.
Oh, I could tell. I'm kidding. All right, so guys, if you do want to learn more about VicTori Belle, be sure to hit her up on Twitter at VicToriClark04, as well as check out her website, VicToriBelle.com. Give her a like on Facebook as well, because why wouldn't you? Because she's amazing. You can also check me out on Twitter at NateFNGreat, as well as add me on Facebook. Also go check out, Deadger's Dark Coffin Classics as well. Sure to give them a like, and be sure to show some love to Deadger as well as the Dead Girls, because they do a tremendous job there as well. As she mentioned before, you can also check her out on City of Angels, as well as The Deadersons. Season 1 is still out, you guys. You can definitely check it out on YouTube as well as on DVD. And Season 2, looking to be very promising.